I'm going to share my screen. And this is components of a profitable presentation. So for our webinar students, they're gonna have to catch the replay. They'll probably be joining in. But one of the things that I always like to make sure that you guys are, very confident in doing is building a profitable presentation. And this presentation is considered your signature presentation. So if someone asks you to present, sorry, maybe you guys can see me a little bit better. If someone asks you to present on a virtual platform, this is going to be the signature presentation that you're going to give. So if you're asked to be on a summit, if you're asked to speak on a stage, if you're asked to speak on a virtual stage, really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, this is your signature presentation. I call it a profitable presentation, but it's also a signature presentation. And I've got plenty of examples that I can give you guys that I can upload in the membership area. But for you, I want you to map out, I want you to think big picture as to what is included. And the way that I teach it is really four key elements of a profitable presentation. All right. So I'm gonna write them down. And I want you to take notes too. Don't just wait for mine. You take your notes too. Hopefully I can see when other people join. All right, so you have your opening, you have the closing, you have your key points, and then what we call objections, misconceptions, right? So for me in the opening, typically I usually have my title slide, right? And I usually write this out. So I would actually write this out before I give it to a VA to actually prepare my presentation. And I'll answer a couple other questions that usually come up. So I normally have my title slide. The title slide, how to generate 200 leads in 30 days or less. Like that is straight to the point. It's going to tell them what they're going to come here and learn today, right? The next thing I want to do is tell them, I want to set the tone or set the expectation and let them know here are 3 things that you're going to walk away with. So typically when I start to build out a webinar presentation, a training presentation, I like to always have like 3 key takeaways. So let's just say you develop 3 key takeaways. Because this is what you're going to put on your webinar registration page, right? To include on webinar registration page. And I probably have this somewhere else, but I can retype it faster than I can go and find the original one. So for an example, if the title of my presentation is how to generate 200 leads in 30 days or less. So I might say key takeaway number 1 is number 1 tool to generate leads without using ads, paid ads, right? Then I might say, I honestly can go look at probably my webinar right now and go find them. Matter of fact, let's go. I don't want to think right now. I just want answers. Let me see. Oh, look at that. Lead generation in 90 days or less. Sometimes, let me see if I have takeaways on here. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. Yeah, and that's, of course, that's one that doesn't have one. Either way, sell your course online. I don't know. Do we put takeaways on here? Oh, boom. Top enrollment strategy for course creators and coaches, how to drive traffic for your next secret, how to easily enroll clients in 12 weeks or less. All right, so I might say something like, I always like to speak to the results. So how to enroll, how to generate 200 leads in 30 days or less, how to fill your online course in 30 days. No, how to fill your online course and generate your next 10K. Okay, like that might be one. And what was another one I used? How to drive traffic to your next 6-figure offer. The top enrollment strategies. All right, so I need one more. Number one tool to generate leads without paid ads. How to fill your online course and generate. I'm trying to think. That's funny. I might use this. Come on, Keisha. Think. Number one tools to generate leads. Got that. How to fill your online course, and then what else am I going to teach? Oh, how to stay top of mind how to stay top of mind with your ideal clients. Boom. This is a process. There's a process that I teach. So every one of these topics, I already know that there's a process that I'm going to teach. So I'm going to set the expectation at the beginning of my webinar presentation. So basically this slide is going to say, here are the 3 things that you're going to be able to walk away with today. Number 1, we're going to talk about the number 1 tool to generate leads without using paid ads. Number 2, we're going to talk about how you fill your online course and generate your next 10K. I already know that that's what we're going to talk about, right? Then I'm going to start developing what we call rapport. Help me spell that, y'all. Rapport. Is that right? Hey, Siri.
R-A-P-P-O-R-T.
Rapport.
R-A-P-P-O-R-T.
There you go.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
Oh, well, Siri don't want to help, so. R-A-P-P-O-R-T. Rapport. There you go. See, that's what I got y'all for. And so basically what you're doing is you're establishing your credibility, right? Introduce yourself, but what makes you qualified to teach this topic? I introduce my journey. I always tell the story of how I lost the same job twice. And how I left corporate America on leave of absence, and I'm still on leave of absence, # longest leave ever. If you ever heard me speak, I pretty much tell the same stories. Stories sell. So the next section, and this is still under the opening, right? So the next section is developing rapport, establishing your credibility, introduce yourself, and what makes you qualified to teach this particular topic. Now, this does not have to be a very, very long. Sometimes some people take like 20 minutes to talk about themselves, and that drives me absolutely insane. because at the end of the day, it's not about you, it's about them. So I would say between 5 to 10 minutes here. And the entire opening section should take 10 to 15 minutes, to be quite honest with you. All right. So introduce myself, tell a story, and then transition back into why we are here. And when we transition back into why we are here, this is where I share how my vehicle of transformation, so my method of transformation, has helped myself and clients, which is why I truly believe that this vehicle is powerful. So what does that mean for you? For you as the teacher for your webinar or your presentation, your vehicle of transformation might be financial freedom. Your vehicle of transformation might be the signature system that you're going to use to help new event managers or individuals who are looking to do events. So you have to determine, like, what is your vehicle of trans? I call it a UGT. So you have to realize, what is your UGT, right? Your ultimate goal of transformation. What transformation do you provide for your client? And when you answer that question, is there a specific tool or process that you use for that transformation? So I'm going to put this here as kind of like a keynote for you, or cliff note for you. Is there a specific tool or technique that you use for this transformation? And if the answer is yes, that is your vehicle. That is your vehicle of transformation. That is your secret sauce, your signature sauce, the thing that keeps you, that separates you from someone else. So even if we have two people on here that help educators, it doesn't matter if we have the same audience or we do the same thing. There is something about you that stands out, that separates you from the person that's sitting next to you. Does that make sense? So that's your ultimate goal of transformation, which ties into the specific technique that you use. So my specific technique that I use to help clients get more sales, get more leads, the vehicle that we use is webinars. Like, that's our vehicle. But is that the only thing that I know how to do? Absolutely not. But that's the vehicle that has worked for myself, that has worked for clients, and has worked for several influencers in the space. That's still just the opening. All right. So you're going to develop rapport. You're going to introduce yourself. What makes you qualified to teach this topic? You're going to introduce your journey. I usually introduce my journey by telling a story. Then we transition back into why we are here. This is where I share how webinars has helped me create the lifestyle that I desire and that I deserve, right? So you have to think about the thing that you do and you're so great at. How did it help you transform your life? And why do you stand behind it? And the reason why it's so important to talk about that right now, because we're going to go immediately into the misconceptions and the objections that people have. So I usually try to pull out, let's focus on 3 objections or misconceptions. So these are the things that people that are telling themselves of why your vehicle is not going to work, right? So some people say that webinars are dead and or outdated. And if that's the case, some of these top influencers wouldn't still be doing them. Okay. But that's some people will tell me, well, webinars are played out. You know, people don't do webinars no more. Oh, okay. Let me show you just how many people are still making millions of dollars with an automated webinar that they're driving traffic to. Okay. So I already have my statistics that I'm going to back up this objection that people have. And then they may say that webinars don't convert, right? That's a new one. I haven't used that one yet. So people might tell me that webinars don't convert, right? So I'm going to address that. And then they may say, what's another one people get all the time? Webinars are dead, webinars don't convert. I mean, there's a lot. People, no one will show up to my webinar. I'm not qualified to teach and or sell my program. Like, these are things that I've actually heard. And I like to address them early on in my presentation, because I need you to know the wrong version. I do that all the time. I need you to know that if you said any of these things to yourself, that you are in the right place. So I also, oops, did not mean to do that. I also like to, I like to add some statistics. So I think I tell you guys all the time, if you can find some stats that validates or back any of your, what I call your beliefs or your principles, use them. So oftentimes I'll just kind of Google webinars, like 2022 webinar statistics, right? And I'll look, so webinar.net. And this is an ad. So like, here's something, I think this might be a software. So see right here, it says average attendance rate is 40 to 50%. Most people register 8 days before the event. 60% of 60% of businesses design their webinar to convert users into paying customers. 54% of B2B professionals watch webinars every week. And all I did was Google 2022 webinar statistics. And so here's the ultimate list of webinar statistics for 2022. And so this is FindStack. I don't really know who FindStack is. Never heard of them. But I would like, I would just take some time, and I encourage you to do so too. Like, I would take some time to like Google statistics for your industry or for your vehicle. As a result of the COVID pandemic, we've suddenly started frequently hear about online workshops. Absolutely. So they've got one to webinar platforms. And then, so the person that wrote this is where those stats came from. And actually this is true. Like, the average attendance rate is 40%. 40% is good. It's usually about 20 to 30%, to be honest. But if you do specific things like text message and things like that, it's 40%, 50%. So I would go and look at this. A lot of people ask me, what's the best time? Midweek days on the best. Webinars should be 30 to 40 minutes long. I don't necessarily agree with that, but you know, hey. There's been an increase in webinar attendance. Most webinar attendees use Windows. Oh yeah, that's interesting. 40% of webinars pay attention from start to finish. So check that out. What was one of mine? Oh, I ain't even say that they won't stay to the end. No one will show up, and then I'm not qualified. So I could even write that no one will watch to the end. So I would literally take every single bullet point. So point 1, and I would address it, teach to point 1. And it's actually not a point, but it's more like misconception, a false belief, or a objection that they're going to tell you. Are y'all following? Too much overload? Okay, good. So I'm gonna type this in here so you can have it. And Bruce, I might get a nod from Bruce on this one. So reason to address the objections early on, right? It helps to transition into your close. So when you're closing at the end of your presentation, you've already addressed the elephant in the room, right? Now you're going to have some more objections that come up in the end, but you're going to address the reasons why they feel that the vehicle doesn't work. So we're going to address it. May as well. Right? Let's address it early. So point number one, address the objection and validate with statistics. Validate it with statistics. You can even use testimonials to validate as well. So for an example, I had a client who had a webinar presentation, but she had not recorded her modules for her training program. And she still ended up selling, I think it was $6,000, $6,200. Oh, excuse me. She still ended up closing a client for $6,200. And she didn't have her course created already. Oh, that's one. I can't host my webinar until my course is created. See how easily these things come to me? Oh my goodness, what is going on today? But these are all things that people have told me. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I've dealt with it before. It's not true, right? So you can also use testimonials to validate, right? So we might address 3 of the misconceptions. I'm just going to copy and paste for you, make it easy for you. Address the objection and validate with statistics, use testimonials. And then point 3, right? And then address the objection. And then reasons to address the objections. So here's what's funny, right? Now we're finally getting to the actual content of the webinar. So if that was 10 to 15 minutes, this will probably be, I'm gonna say this is 10 minutes, right? I'm giving y'all a short version. And that's because DeKesha like to talk. Like I'll spend 20 minutes on it. So 10 minutes in your opening, 15 minutes in your opening, 10 minutes in your objections. And I'll even do 7 minutes. I'll give you 7 to 10 minutes. Right? 7 to 10 minutes. You're already 20 minutes into your webinar. You already 20 minutes. And this is why I know that 45 minutes to an hour is a pretty standard time frame. Because if you're not doing at least 45 minutes to an hour, you are not addressing, like, you're not building the rapport. You're not building that. You're not establishing your credibility. You're not dealing with the objections even before you get to your main content. So now we're here at our main content. So these are key points. I call it the main content. So key point number 1, it's going to come from my key takeaways up here. So I'm going to talk about the number 1, right? The number 1 tool. And then I'm going to have, I'm going to talk about, I might have some bullet points under these. So the number 1 tool to generate leads without using paid ads. And so I might have an exercise where I show them how to generate 200 leads in 30 days. And I might include a visual that supports this topic, which y'all already know I do. Right? And then I'll provide a testimonial from a client who, or case study of someone from a client or case study of someone, no, provide from a client or case study that validates this point. So it's very important to start collecting testimonials when you work with clients. If you don't, use yourself. If you're just starting out and you don't, use yourself. So key point number 2, does that make sense so far? I'm going to key point number 2. And these were the key takeaways. So I'm just going to go up here and I'm going to talk about how to fill my online course. So these are marketing strategies, right? So I may provide 7 strategies to fill your webinar. Right? And then I'm going to do strategy. Actually, that's too many. I'll be teaching all day. So I'm going to do 5. Right? Because I still got to teach to generate your next 10K. So strategy 1. Strategy 2. Strategy 3. Strategy 4. Oops, come on, little fingers. And strategy 5. Right? And then show them how to generate 10K. I usually do a mathematical equation. So use a visual, right? So include a visual. So one of the things that's very important that I want you guys to understand, I might type it right here, but when we are teaching, like notice how I'm teaching right now. Like my camera is on and you can see me. I'm teaching and I'm talking to you, but I'm also typing notes as we go along. Might not be a PowerPoint. It might not be a PowerPoint presentation, but I'm giving you a visual. You have to remember that some people are visual learners, they're auditory, and then they are what we call is kinesthetic. So they write. So you give them a worksheet to fill in the worksheet while you're teaching, right? This is why visuals are important. And actually, people retain 80% more of the information if you give them a visual. Did y'all know that? Crazy. So everything, there's a reason. Your audience will retain 80% of the information when you provide a visual. So I could have just sat right here and talked you through this and gave you point 1, point 2, and point 3. But for me to write it down and give you a visual, there's a better chance that you're going to actually retain what I'm teaching you. All right. So I would say, is this good? Yes or yes, but it's really good, not just because I'm teaching it. So hopefully this will help you guys as you're preparing your presentation. And then as we close out, so we're going to transition to the close. And then this is where we have our offer stack. Now I do a whole training on just the offer stack. The offer stack includes, it's the offer, what's included, and then the benefits of each item included. Notice I said each item included. So, example, if you have a 8-week course, include the benefits of working together for 8 weeks. Example, if you have a private Facebook group, what are the benefits of the exclusive Facebook group access? Because honestly, the benefits are what sell, and this is where we mess up. Trying to think of another example. What else is usually included? Like if you are including 8-week course, private Facebook group. I don't know, you might do some templates or something like that, right? What's the benefit of me providing you with a pre-filled template, right? You got to be able to answer these questions, because that's honestly what you're selling when you're doing your close. All right, so that's your offer stack. And then you want to restate what's included in your offer. And then provide a bonus. I love bonus. So provide a bonus. I do a fast action bonus. So if you purchase right now, so that's basically if you purchase right now, bonus. I do a pay in full bonus. Some people like to pay in full, but now with the pay in full bonus, you want it to be something juicy because they're paying in full. So I like to do like a VIP day or half VIP day, something big. Something that's going to cost that has a high value. So include a high value offer for paid in full clients. So I do a fast action bonus. I do a pay in full bonus. I do a just a regular bonus, like maybe tickets to an event, and then a bonus. So one of my bonuses that I like to include solves one of the objections from the beginning. So I try to provide a bonus that will keep them from telling me, no, I cannot buy right now. Does that make sense? I try to provide a bonus that'll keep them. So if they tell me, oh, well, I don't have a course. Oh, well, my money, I don't know how to save money, or I don't know how to hire. I'm going to give you a checklist on the top 10 things you need to look for when you hire. I'm going to give you a checklist on how to save $1,000 in the next 90 days, something. But I'm going to give you something where I can eliminate that objection. So a lot of people tell me, oh, I don't have a course created. Okay, that's fine. I got a training where I can show you how to create a course in 30 days or less. Next. So basically you want them to be like, oh, okay, you tried it, but what's next? Give me something else. Like, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, because you struggling to generate revenue. You struggling with sales. Let's go. So one of my bonuses is always going to solve a problem. There you go. Solve an immediate problem. It's different. Solve an immediate problem. And that's in the closing. Always use a vanity URL to drive traffic, even though I got viruses on mine. Hopefully they're up now. To drive your sales or drive traffic. Use a vanity URL to drive traffic to your sales page. Example, the webinar, www.thewebinarsuccessblueprint.com. Boom. And then once you do that, we open up for Q&A. I like to come to the call. I like to come to my presentation with questions already asked. So your closing should take 20 to 30 minutes. Minimum. Q&A can be 15 minutes. Some of the frequently asked questions. So if you've never done this before, I'll give you some. Right? How long is the program? I know I just said it in my close, but they're gonna always ask. Are the trainings live or recorded? Also, how long do we have access to the recording? Is there a payment plan? And these are always questions that we always get. And you can honestly kind of just play it off when you get to this part, and you can open it up for Q&A, and you can say, well, I know we got one question so far, and someone's asked, how long is the program? So right now the program is going to be an 8-week course. We're going to meet every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. at blah, 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 blah. We will incorporate implementation weeks, or, however you want to word it. All right. And so I'm used to doing it. So I just kind of do it. Like, then I'll be like, okay, so the next question is, are the trainings live or recorded? So all of our trainings will be in our membership area. You come to the call, which is a live call for Q&A. So that's how I would do it. I just come to the call with questions. And then if somebody else asks a question while they're on the webinar, boom, I just add it to my list and I address it. I address it the next time I do that webinar live. Does that help? That was a lot. Any questions about it?
What was that fourth question? How long are the trainings? How long do we have access? Are there payment plans? I feel like live or recorded. I see it now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My question is, how long did you say the key point? How many minutes did you say that should last?
I don't think I did. This is usually about 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
So 15, 10, that's 25, 20, that's 45. Oh, wow. That's the 30. Okay. I was going to say, good God almighty. Yeah, 10, 20, 40, and then close. Yep. 60 minutes, 60 to 90 minutes. And then you got Q&A. Now this right here is your traditional webinar, sell people into your course. And you can do it directly to a sales conversation. Oh, let me hear your call to action.
Wait, is it to the course or is it to a call?
It can be either or, doesn't really matter. If it's to a call, you're not going to do the offer stack. If the CTA is a call, remove the offer stack. No, you don't have to. I take that back.
No, because I want them to come on the call ready to buy.
Yeah, you don't have to. CTA can be directly to sales page or schedule an appointment. Yep. I forgot to add that in there. Oh, dope outline. I'm gonna have to get the team to jazz this up. That's nice.
Yeah, that might be a nice freebie or worksheet in the course.
I know. I used to give something out similar to the as a webinar checklist.
Yeah.
I love creating. That's just in me. Any other questions? Does this help y'all? Deronda, you good? I'm gonna take it and put it in the area. Let me see. Let me stop sharing.
Yes, I'm good. I just got out of the car.
Oh, Lord.
I sent a question about the
Oh, hold on.
first webinar, not today. The first webinar where you demonstrated something that we could copy and paste. When I went into the
The membership.
program, I didn't see it. So
Okay.
maybe I don't have access to that. I don't know. But I thought I could see a recording to watch you do that again.
To watch me do this?
No, what you did the first session where they had to copy and
Oh,
paste something.
the recording is in there now.
Okay then. All right. I'll check again.
Hold on, let me see.